house made of Merida blue, and this is Clementine Louise, the star of the show, but I'm going to put her down. Last week on the blog, I talked to you through the blog, through writing about our Pinterest categories and how we keep that organized, and I promised I would do a little video to show you how I keep track of the organization and decorating projects and renovating projects for our home. And what I use are these cute little Moleskine notebooks that I got the inspiration from Organize Like Jen, and hopefully you've heard of her. She's a pretty big YouTube organizer person, and she uses something similar, although I adapted it for our own home. So I use these just before we pop into the actual close-up view of these. I use these because Pinterest can only do so much for me. It can't help me like keep track of the steps of a project. It's not good at like setting goals and stuff like that and looking back on projects we've done. So the Pinterest is more for keeping track of like rooms I like, visual things, links to tutorials and stuff like that. It's much more visual, so I can kind of see visually how the room will look. This dog is crazy. And these are more for actual breaking down the projects, keeping track of specific ideas we have, and these are really long-term project planning that I plan to use for a few years. So Pinterest is more kind of just like spur of the moment, oh, I like this, I'm gonna put it on a board, stuff like that. So let's hop over and I'll show you an actual detailed look of what I use both of these for. Okay, so here's a close-up view of each of the notebooks. So there's two I use this format for, and the first one on the left is the Decorating and Renovation Project Management notebook, and the one on the right is the Organization Project Management. So this one, the Decorating and Renovation, keeps ideas for things like decorating, so color schemes, furniture I want to buy, art I want to buy, things I want to do, DIY kind of stuff. Renovation, so like knocking out walls, redoing the kitchen, all the stuff we're currently working on, all that kind of stuff. So it's more like the bigger things we do in the house and the looks of the house. And then the organization is things like actually organizing kitchen drawers or the linen closet, or how, and I even go into like life organization, and I will go into both of these. Before I do that, I just use little stickers. I will say that I'm very disappointed lately with the selection of stickers out there. I'm not like a scrapbooker or anything like that, so I didn't really think I would have a hard time finding stickers to like label the names of these. But I had a lot of trouble because I needed flat stickers, obviously, because part of the reason why I use these little Moleskine notebooks instead of something like a binder is because I could just slip it in my purse and take it along with me because they're really thin and light. And when you're doing projects, it's nice to just be able to grab this and go instead of making a separate list. So that's why I went with the thin route, and so I needed something flat to label it with, and all I could find really were these stickers. They're not my favorite. I'm not like a big glittery person, but whatever, they'll do. I went to Michael's, Target, and didn't really have much luck, but anyway. And then as for decorating them, I wanted them to look kind of cute, so after a lot of trouble finding anything cute, I found these awesome fabric stickers at Target. I think it was like $4.99 for a packet that had all of these. I don't know how long they'll last or anything like that, but I just thought they were really cute. So that's what they're decorated with. I will try to find a link to those as well if you're interested. They really fit my like colorful vintage style. Okay, so let's just jump into the Decorating and Renovation notebook. So to start off, I have four sections that I break it into. The first one is yearly goals, the second one is room projects, third is small projects, and fourth is project breakdown. Once again, I just want to say a big thank you to Organize Like Jen, who inspired me to do this. This is very, very much inspired by her, but I did come up with a lot of the details on my own because she does more of a once a year notebook, and this is a hopefully as long as we have the house notebook, but we'll see. Okay, so let's look at each category. Yearly goal. So I have a page for each year. So I have 2013 goals, 2014 goals. I think I did up to 2017. So maybe not a forever notebook, but the next 5 years. And then I broke it down by season or months, because it's better to break down goals in my eyes by time of the year, because if I just had a huge long list, I'd get sidetracked. So since we moved into our house in May, I have May through August, and I have some of the stuff we're doing right now. So phase 1, kitchen renovation, opening up the doorway between the living room and dining room, all that kind of stuff. And then I have different goals for the fall, which I label as September to December, even though here in Minnesota, winter, I think, starts in like October, but I just wanted to keep it separate from the winter that's at the start of the year. So I use the goals to, it's kind of more of like a timeline than necessarily a goal. I guess it's both, but it's not just something I hope to do, it's me planning out the time when I want to do things. So for example, this fall, I know these are the things I want to get done the first year we own the home. So planting grass seed and fertilizing the front yard, painting the trim and windows, refinishing the wood floors, painting all the rooms, all that kind of stuff. This gives me a good focus for the end of the year, and it really helps me organize my thoughts of like when to do things. I never thought it would be so overwhelming to have a first house or have a house in general, especially one that you're gonna fix up a lot. So having this really helps me plan like, okay, what's the most important? When should we do what? Even looking a couple years ahead of time. So for example, I already have projects listed for next spring. So re-cementing the driveway, and next summer, building a privacy fence. These are things that are obviously very important to me, so I want to get them done next year. And in Minnesota, it's very hard to do things anytime between, let's say, like October through, well, this year it was May. We had our last huge snowstorm in May. So this really helps me stay focused on things that need to be done when it's nice out, because we only have so many months here in Minnesota that we can do stuff, especially outside. Or things like painting. If I need to spray paint, can't really spray paint out when it's 20 below or whatever temperature it is during the winter. Okay, anyway, so I have one for each year. I just want to be truthful and say I haven't filled these out completely yet, but I really wanted to show you guys, and I'm still kind of figuring out how exactly I want to use it, so I didn't want to go crazy and fill stuff in when I'm not really sure. So 2015 I probably won't really touch till next year, just because I can kind of see what pacing we're at, and how much we can actually financially and realistically get done in a year. Okay, so that's the first section. Then I have room projects. This is my favorite section. So this is very similar to the Pinterest boards. I break down each subsection by room. So I have a whole house, which isn't necessarily a room, but it's things I want to do to the whole house. So like refinishing the floors, painting the trim, replacing doors, stuff like that. So I don't need to write it for every single room, because it's going to happen all at once. Then I have exterior, so things like painting the stone and siding and roofing, all that kind of stuff would go in here. And I apologize for the random noises, that's our crazy dog. Front yard, all the stuff we hope to do for the front yard. And I would say this room project section is pretty complete, because I just wrote down every single little thing we want to do, decorating and renovation wise. Backyard, entryway, we don't truthfully have a separate entryway, but as you'll see hopefully soon, we're creating kind of our own entryway by adding stairs to the entry area and using the back of a couch to kind of separate it off. So that's what I consider the entryway. Dining room, so much. Okay, so then for things like the second bedroom, okay, we don't have kids yet. So we're still trying to figure out what do we want to do with the second bedroom. We hope to have kids soonish, God willing, and so we're still trying to figure out, do we want it to be a nursery or do we want it to be a guest bedroom office? So I kind of gave myself a couple pages to work with here, because I'm not really sure. I don't want to spend a ton of money on making it a guest room office if 10 months, 11 months, however many months down the road we have a baby. So just trying to figure out what to do there. Okay, and then we have not finished our basement yet. I don't really know when we're going to do that. I have to think about the cost and that kind of thing. So I still kept a page for each room that we know we will have in the basement. So we will have a family room. I don't have a ton of specific ideas, but I know we need to do things like add carpet, add trim, sheetrock, just to finish it. And then I have some general ideas. I wrote all this stuff in pencil just because I change my mind a lot, and so I wanted to be able to go back and change things easily without having to cross stuff off and scribble on it, because I like things neat, and I know I won't use things as well or at all if there's scribbles everywhere and stuff like that. And then I also put a little box just so I could check it off, because that's very fulfilling. Basement bathroom, our basement front bedroom that we will have, our basement back bedroom, laundry, utility, garage. Okay. So that's the room projects. I just broke it down by room and wrote every single thing that has to do with renovating or decorating that we want to do in any room or area of our house. Then I have small projects. These last two I haven't started on yet. I wanted to really get used to the notebooks before I fill them in. But this small projects area, I'm either going to go back and look at every small project I want to do and write them in and kind of break them down. I'm guessing I'm not going to do it that way, but I could. So what I plan on using the small projects section for is for when I'm actually going to work on a small project, such as, let's just flip to something. Reseeding the grass. Okay, that I would say is kind of a small project. You just go out there and kind of throw the grass seed. If I even wanted to think more about that and process it more, I might write reseed grass seed in front yard, and then I would probably write like the brand of grass seed I want to use, or some tips or something like that, just to kind of help process and figure out the steps to do it before I do it. That's what I would do for small projects, just to kind of help me focus. And then this project breakdown section is for the big projects, and I definitely will do kind of that same thing. So for example, let's see here. Something like removing all the wall tile, including the tub surrounding the main bathroom. That's kind of a big project because I know it's going to involve wrecking the plaster walls, sanding them, all that kind of stuff. So when we're ready to do that, or really close to doing that or saving up for it, we'll write retiling or removing tile on the bathroom walls. And then I would write maybe tools that we need to use, especially if we need to buy anything. I would write the steps so that I'm not getting sidetracked and doing things in a crazy order. I would have the new tile we want to put on, or even though, like, what we're going to do to make it look nice afterwards. I would just break it down by steps and anything we need to buy, anything, maybe any idea I have or something like that, I would write that here. So that way when we're actually working on the project, it's really focused, because truthfully, my mind is very scattered. I like to jump around and do this thing and that thing and then the other thing, and then nothing gets finished. So that's why I even do chaotic things like having notebooks like this, which some people might think is chaotic, is because my mind itself is not very organized. So I need stuff like this to keep me focused. So having a project breakdown section will help me do things in the correct order, not waste money by buying things we don't need or buying too much. I can just stay really focused. So that is the decorating and renovation project management notebook. Okay, so let's move on to the organization project management notebook. This is very similar to the renovation and decorating notebook, except it's all about organization, which obviously I like. That's why I have notebooks like this. So it's very similar. So let's look at the categories. We have yearly goals, organization by room, life organization, and then project breakdown. So I'm not going to go too much into specifics here, but I have the yearly goals. So same thing, break it down by months or time of year. And then I just say things like organize kitchen cabinets and drawers, organize linen closet, and then I threw Christmas in here just because it's going to take a lot of organizing, even though I have a separate holiday planning notebook, but this is more the organization of Christmas and not like decorating and stuff like that. I haven't really looked too far out just because there's so much organization that needs to be done, and I have really no clue where to really start after these few things. And it really depends on the decorating and renovating. I don't want to start organizing things that are just going to get ripped out or changed. Okay, so I go, I think, same 5 years in advance for that. Then I have organization by room, and I pretty much have the same categories as the other one, except I don't really have whole house because there's not like one organization project I want to do for the whole house. It's more specific little things. So, and some of these are blank because I have no idea. Backyard, we might put a patio in, but I'm not even thinking about organizing that yet. But something I really am thinking about organizing is our entryway area. That's probably the first thing I'm going to really tackle, just because I've never really had an entryway, and it's really exciting to have a place to actually drop our keys and to make inviting. So I have things like putting a console table. I want to add a place for small storage like keys, maybe some pens, little things to grab on the way out of the house. I want to add a wicker basket beneath with blankets and pillows. I have ideas for a coat closet, and then for mail, because oh my gosh, paper and mail might be the death of me pretty soon. I don't know what to do with it all before we have a system. So I'm really excited to finally have a system for getting rid of crap mail that comes, and bills and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I go through each room, and I haven't filled it in a ton just because it's kind of overwhelming right now, and I want to decorate it first before I figure out literally what I can organize. And they kind of go hand in hand. Obviously, we don't have a huge house. We have to have functional pieces of furniture, but I want to have the furniture before I decide how to organize it. Okay, so, and then there's things like kitchen, where I just left space for each cabinet just because I don't really know. At this point, we're still trying to get used to how we use the kitchen before we decide what products we want to buy and stuff like that. So just goes through each room. I don't have a ton in here yet. Okay, so then I have life organization. This is my section for just kind of like anything that's not really house organization, but still needs to stay organized, and I still would like to keep contained in the organization notebook. So I have like my Filofax, things I want to do to that. Cleaning organization, so things I need to do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. Home upkeep, so this will be like changing the furnace filter, cleaning out the gutters, that kind of thing. I have daily routines, so just trying to stay focused and figure out what I would like to do every day. So things that I haven't been doing that I want to do is like taking vitamins, doing a daily devotional, brushing our dog, planning my outfit the day before, journaling, that kind of stuff. So just having it here keeps me focused. Health, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this yet, but I know I'll do something. Meal planning, saving money, budgeting, stuff for Sam, because he keeps telling me he wants to be more organized, and so I'm trying to think of manly ways to do that, since he's not going to carry like a purse or a satchel, the man version of a purse, I guess, around. So I'm just going to write ideas for keeping him organized, and then I left a few blank pages. So just like the decorating and organizing section, I have decorating and renovating notebook, I have a project breakdown. This is where, with big projects, or like let's say one of the kitchen cabinets, when I'm actually working on it or about to work on it, I'll write the cabinet here, and then I'll write down maybe some things I saw at Container Store I want to buy, and maybe what specific steps I want to take to organizing it or something like that. I don't think this section will be as useful as it is for the decorating and renovating, since organizing is very detailed and very small. But I will find a way to make it useful for me, because I left a lot of pages, and I might just write more brief statements in the organizing by room section, and then break it down more in the project breakdown. Okay, so enough about that. So once again, here are my two notebooks. If you're interested in learning more about the products I use with links, you can head over to our blog, which is maritalglue.com, and I'll have a link down below. And if you would like to learn more about our life, also head over there. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. I hope you have a wonderful day.